I don't know.
Explain to me what he's doing.
That's our time for today.
From The Sopranos to Succession, HBO has created award-winning series for over 25 years, stacking up Emmys for their extraordinary and groundbreaking dramas. For a look at some of the best, TV critic Matthew Gilbert is here to tell us his favorites. Matthew, what is the secret sauce behind the success of HBO's amazing series?
Whenever I stay at a White Lotus, I always have a memorable time. Always.
I think it's creative freedom. I think they're smart enough to grant their directors and writers and actors the creative space to do what they think is best. You know, they're not trying to control the content like the networks, unfortunately, still do. And it's really been an amazing, thing to watch for the past 25 years, to see HBO just kind of dominate.
We're killing the opposition! Succession was the latest sensational series, and some say one of the greatest shows of all time. So what made this show so special?
I mean, there's so much about that show that I love. Every time I write about Succession, I hear from readers, Globe readers, who just hate the show. There's nobody to like. They keep complaining there's nobody to like. I mean, that's what I like about the show. I like the fact that they are just a bunch of villains. They're all morally corrupt and therefore fun to watch.
The only guy pulling for you is dead. You're just married to the ex-boss's daughter, and she doesn't even like you.
Jesus, Carl.
I love that. I also think that the storyline was always kind of interesting to track, and I loved the cast. I thought the cast was all aces.
Speaking of aces, aside from Succession, what are some of the other shows that you have on deck in your favorites list?
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? What are you here to talk about?
I made a point of putting In Treatment on there. That is a series that I think is underappreciated, generally speaking. It was basically an entire series set in a therapist's office with his different clients. And each half-hour episode was all inside that room. And it sounds boring, but I just thought it was never boring. The camera work was amazing. The acting was amazing. The writing was so tight. Each half-hour episode was almost like a little one-act play. Gabriel Byrne played the therapist, and he was just phenomenal.
It's important that we be as honest as we can with each other.
I am a Gabriel Byrne fan from his Kaiser Soze, Usual Suspects, Is He, Isn't He? But one of the shows that you have on your list is Oz.
There's something in the air.
It was their first hour-long drama, before The Sopranos. And it was like The Sopranos, pushing the envelope. It was extremely gritty and violent, but also really smart. The characters were fascinating, and the whole prison became like this microcosm of America, sadly, with all of its different factions, warring factions. That show really was something.
Your number one favorite HBO series is The Sopranos.
You got no idea what it's like to be number one.
To me, The Sopranos is the perfect show.
Any thoughts at all on why you blacked out?
I don't know. Stress, maybe.
It was an amazing, really powerful creation. The cast was outrageous, but to me, The Sopranos is just the peak.
For Matthew's complete list of favorite HBO shows, go to bostonglobe.com. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.